There's acne on my face. I don't know what to do. I don't fucking care. Let's do this. Hey guys, let's fill in this gap that a lot of artists seem to have in their brain over the word feedback. Now I want to highlight something big first. There's a difference between feedback and criticism. There's a guy named Tim Grover. I don't know anything about basketball, but I've heard Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are pretty good. Well, at some point, he trained both of them extensively. He also trained LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and a bunch of other guys. So this dude is basically a fucking legendary personal trainer in the NBA. And he said that the difference between feedback and criticism is how you take it. That's so mental. That's so mindset based. You can tell a lot about yourself just by the way you react to anything people say about your music. If someone tells you your flow sucks, then you can either get butthurt about it and tell them they don't understand, they're just insecure. No. You can waste all your fucking time trying to convince them that they're wrong, when trying to push them will just result in more resistance, more negativity, more energy going down the drain. You literally have nothing to gain by making an argument out of someone telling you that your lyrics are trash. You can either do that or take it for what it is and improve on it. And I understand this, like anyone who puts time into their craft, like when you record a song that you just put so much into, you hear it and it's almost like listening to a mirror because it's an extension of yourself and you care about it. So I know, I really do, that in tougher times, especially, it can actually really fucking hurt when people tear it down like it's nothing. It's in times when you feel your brain just heating up, just reading this comment about the delivery or the flow sounding forced or being offbeat, off key. For me, it helps a lot when I close my eyes and imagine myself watching from 5 feet away this kid on the computer. I've never seen him. I've never met him. He has red hair and he's wearing this blue shirt. He's getting mad over something that he read on a screen that's covered in metal. Like, really think about this. And so I imagine music playing in the background, but not just any music. It has to be some really silly shit, like the Seinfeld theme song, or that one K-pop song that hit 1 billion views on YouTube before literally any other video. I think 2012, but like at half the speed and like 2 octaves down. And then he starts clenching his teeth. His ego starts to bleed. I just imagine the entire scene fading into white, almost like it's a piece of paper and you're just erasing the idea from your mind. Now, I understand this sounds really fucking weird. I mean, it kind of is, but there's a reason for it that I recommend looking into. It's called NLP. It stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. It's extremely fucking powerful. It instantly cures, or perhaps at least very effectively treats, some of the most almost life-threatening mental conditions. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, eating disorders, even stutters. I think schizophrenia. I used to beat myself up over the idea of being told I'm doing something wrong. And things like NLP are a huge reason people can tell me things like, all my friends think you're a total clown. We all like to laugh at your music. And I can face it head on and be like, thanks for the feedback, bro. I'm glad I gave you guys a good laugh. I hope you have an awesome day. There's a dope introduction book for it, written by one of the co-founders of the science itself. I'll link you to it in the description. Now, these things are so important. They really increase your self-awareness, and when you catch yourself slipping, it's way easier to pick yourself back up, get back to fucking work, and not cry about some fucking dumb bullshit comment that fucking one person said. The fact that they feel strongly about your music at all is actually a good thing. It's a very good thing. So it's not even criticism if you look at it that way. It's just a thing to improve, like literally everything in your life. Feedback is any reaction people have to your music, period. Criticism is the expression or disapproval of someone or something based on perceived faults or mistakes. Regardless, you fucking gotta fix something. Now that we gently put down that old elephant that refused to leave the room out of its suffering, and we had a very wholesome breakfast with its fat, juicy elephant meat, I want to explain how to give feedback. An important thing with this is to make sure that it's unique. As soon as someone sees a comment about their music that they've never seen before, you'll immediately stand out when everyone else is saying shit like, oh bro, that flow is fire, 100, flexing, 100, fire. Dude, shut the fuck up. Yes, it's support, but there's nothing better about it. If you're an artist giving the feedback, it's not better, it's just good. Good isn't different. Different is everything. All these mumble rappers good? No, they're fucking different. That's why the entire trend is so popular, because it's never happened before. A way to learn this is by reading what music critics have to say, and this is great especially if you're a rapper, because music critics love rap music. You can check out Pitchfork or The Guardian. Those guys are awesome reviewers. I'll link those in the description too. If you're like me and you actually can read, but you just fucking despise doing it, you can watch needle drop videos. This guy is an eclectic genius. He knows what he's talking about. He reviews full albums, and the way he describes music is just fucking extremely eloquent. If you watch enough of his videos and read enough of those reviews, I promise your ability to give feedback will sharpen in its own way. People are gonna wonder how you came up with all these weird perspectives. Sometimes I tell an artist something polarizing that compliments them just as much as it insults them, because it's like a positive negative thing. I think your delivery can't keep up with your lyrics. I think your voice is a little too good for this beat. I think your flow is a little too good for the mixing. Basically, I'm saying that one thing is better than the other, but they both have to do with the artist. So this is a great way I've discovered to tell someone that something needs work without really insulting them. It gives them guidance on how they can further EQ their music. And by that, I don't mean production EQ. I'm talking about one thing needs to be a little bit more like this, another thing needs to be a little bit more like that, and I'm saying it in a way that you can stomach no matter who you are. People are really emotionally driven creatures, and emotionally they thrive on knowing that they can relate to others in small ways. They most likely felt a particular way when they made that song. So if you listen to it, fire that feeling back at them in a form of me too. Because no matter how anyone's feeling ever, their favorite thing to hear when they tell someone else about it is me too. That's why the Me Too hashtag became so fucking popular. And that's why saying that you're next up and only you is not. Because you know who isn't next up with you in that case? Everyone else, including your fans. I like to do this by saying how the song makes me feel. I like to talk about it from a perspective that you would never expect to hear out of someone my age. I'm 21. Sometimes I hear an EDM song or a pop song, and I tell the artist, I tell the producer, man, this song makes me want to jump up and down on my bed and scream like a 5-year-old girl. When they're asked about the most interesting compliment they've ever heard on their music, they'll think about you and what you said. And the more they think about you, the more likely they are to listen to your music. These subconscious thoughts are gonna bubble up eventually. Okay, I have what seems like this extremely unpopular opinion that because music is good, all music is good music. I've never met anyone else who feels this way, but anyone who does can probably tell you that no matter what you're listening to, there's always something to appreciate. There's always something, and there's always a reason to appreciate it. If you look for it, it'll be there for you. It's always there. And if you can't find something, I'm willing to bet that you don't love music as much as you think. If you look for the best in people, they'll show it to you. And if you can't find something, I'm also willing to bet that you don't love life as much as you think. But you know what? I'm willing to bet just as much, if not more, that no matter who the fuck you are, you can always change both of those for the better. Now, when you give people positive feedback on their songs, or at least feedback that's constructive, you're doing what's called offering value. And when you offer value, you're giving. And there's something in the science of persuasion called reciprocity. People are more likely to give you something they value, like money, time, attention, energy, etc., in return when you give it to them first. And you know what's weird? Without argument, you have unlimited amounts of all of these things. Even money, you do. All of them except time. So when you give people your time, they'll give you theirs. Nobody's gonna fucking listen to your song if you don't listen to theirs first. Well, at least nobody compared to if you do listen to theirs first. If you listen first, you say, could I get your thoughts on this song? All feedback is welcome, and I appreciate your time. Some artists have asked me for feedback and said some interesting things like, if you think it's the worst fucking thing you've ever heard, I want you to tell me. They push the envelope a bit. This is polarizing. It's interesting. So you could try this too. I do it sometimes. Because no normal person likes to be told, you are the worst at your fucking job, you fucking suck. In fact, if you want to be extra diligent, I think it's important, at least for branding purposes, to tell people things that align with the values that you highlight and embody in your music. I tell people all sorts of things when I network, especially on social media, but they're playful and technical at the same time. This seems to come off to some as very granular and perhaps vague, but somehow intriguing. It's generally my very core personality, and it's the way I deliver feedback. It's my style. This shit is like an art form on a subconscious level, because most people wouldn't expect anything like this to be true at all. But well, it fucking is. There are so many studies that back it up. But like saying, if you think it's the worst fucking thing you ever heard, I want you to tell me. I think this would work best particularly if you have a lot of influences who are punk or horrorcore or something, and you talk a lot about depression, self-doubt, self-hate, etc. in your songs. This gives them a reason to hope. It's maybe not bad, but rather lyrically focused on bad things, and that gives them less of a reason to be disappointed by it. You're almost priming them into a more optimal state of mind to hear your music and enjoy it, if not at least appreciate it. This is something psychology professor Robert Cialdini likes to call persuasion. He has an entire book about it, which I'll link you to in the description. So that's my take on feedback. What do you guys think? What am I missing? Please let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions in general, please feel free to hit me up. There are links at the bottom of the description to all of my social media. Make sure to leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you could turn on the bell to get a notification when I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.